Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another one of these Starcraft 2 bot AI casts. I always have to stop myself when doing these because it is not a 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. It is more of the 1 versus 3. And I think there has been a few developments here on this one. In the last match we cast, one of the aliens, or one of the AIs, killed the other AIs. In this one, though, they should be fully allied, I believe. And yes, we have got not Canonana going up to the challenge, but Ketroc's bot, which is also called Ketroc. And so I'm very excited for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this match, make sure to go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already. If we can get 3 likes for the number of one for each opponent that Ketroc is taking on, that would be great. Leave a comment down below saying more bots, maybe 3 times or something, if you want to see more of these matches. And then subscribe if you haven't already, as I think this is a very cool challenge for bot authors. It's interesting to see where it will lead. Now, I believe that this one is against the insane AI. That's what Ketroc is going to be taking on here today, so difficult enough to take on one of them, but 3 of them, it's going to be a real challenge, and it's just very cool that, well, so far, we've seen anyway, Ketroc's bot and Canonana's bot are both up to the task, and that their programming doesn't just totally melt when you add in a few more competitors. The map is Ephemeron here today, so a bit of a modified version, so there is a spawn point for the Predators and the aliens, although I believe in this game they should all be playing the same as the other AI. I apologize if the camera jumps around a little bit. That's the overlay we're using. I was thinking I could just use like no overlay, or like the original overlay or something, but that has the big ugly bar at the top. So it's like, yeah, I don't know if we want that. But yes, I do like the fact that Ketroc's bot is going for a planetary at the start of this game. That's going to be very useful if it comes down to defending against hordes and hordes of the opponents. We notably didn't get a chat tag from Ketroc at the start of the game, I believe, so we actually have no idea what build it's going for. There is a Zerg in the bottom left, a Zerg in the bottom right, and a Protoss in the upper right for Ketroc. The Protoss is going for a multiple gateway style. No expo yet, whereas both the Zergs have expanded. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes, because it might be a bit more difficult for Terran to take on 3 AIs than it was for Canonana. And I think part of that probably is a little bit because the AI does not understand the concept or have any counter programming to the elite Burrow Micro of Canonana, whereas Ketroc obviously doesn't have that at its disposal, so it's going to have to win off the back of something else. We've got a very quick 3rd command center on the way for Ketroc. I like this. I'll like it even more if it turns into a planetary fortress. And yes, let's see. We've got a tank on the way for the Terran bot. Just going to be playing just a defensive SimCity probably so far. We do have a Ling running on in and a scouting probe. So the in-game elite StarCraft AI does do lots of scouting, keeping tabs. It's fairly reactive and doesn't derp too much or anything like that for the most part. We do have a Banshee on the way for Ketroc, so that could potentially get some good damage done. We'll see, as there is actually no detection for the Predators at this moment. The Zerg, yeah, no spores from any of oh, pardon me, actually the blue Zerg's actually gone for 2 spores, so smart bot compared to the other 2. And then we do have a Templar Archives on the way for the Protoss AI, which is just spamming Adepts. Maybe this bot was designed in early Legacy of the Void when the Adepts were all the rage, but now that might not be the case, so we'll see, because if they do roll up, it could be very difficult for Ketroc to defend, as, I mean, if we pull up the active forces right now, supplies, Ketroc is actually the lowest compared to the opponents. Can pull up the income tab there to get a look at that. I believe it is going up by increments of 7, it seems. So that that one does keep landing at 50. So it's always hard to tell. Anyway, we'll just see what Ketroc's going to be building. Looks like it will be going for this mass air strategy, relying on the planetaries to be defensive. Banshee does come in to get some harassment damage done as it rolls up to the base of the Predators. Going to start killing off some of these probes. The Adepts are useless. The High Templar could feed back the Banshee. If only there was detection. We do have a Forge finishing up for the Protoss AI, but it has yet to go for... Well, it's yet to build a cannon, so it's not looking very good as this Banshee is free reign. Very good Banshee micro from Ketroc. The fact that it is just hanging out here, killing off tons and tons of probes. I mean, the income is going to be dropping for this Protoss bot. It does have a bit of a bank, so it should be able to recover as an Overseer actually comes over from the blue AI to help chase that Banshee away. So these AIs are helping each other out. And let's see, another Banshee coming down to harass. However, at this base, there is Spore Crawlers and Hydralisks, so it's just the Protoss that's getting punished very hard. Now wanting to move down to defend its expansion that it has secured. That does leave its main base vulnerable. Meanwhile, both these Zerg bots are building up formidable armies. The Banshees of Ketroc are growing in numbers, so it's going to be interesting to see how the AI tries to rise to this challenge. We do have a Spire on the way for the blue Zerg. I mean, Corruptors can be very good against Banshees, or even Mutas too. So far, some good damage done by Ketroc, though, kind of knocking one of the opponents out of the game a little bit. I mean, the Protoss is still in the game. It's got a significant army, but it definitely has lost some stuff. Meanwhile, a Banshee is still flying around, but there's Hydras and Queens to try and zone that away. We do have a third base going on up. Meanwhile, we have got, let's see, Ketroc just building more Vikings, more Banshees on the way up at the minute. We've got a fourth command center getting established, so it will be interesting to see if Ketroc can get up that fourth base. The Protoss AI is going in for an attack. Feedback hits one of the Banshees. That's a good way to remove that from the equation. However, there is 2 siege tanks for Ketroc, and this is the difference between the custom-coded AI and the default AI in StarCraft 2, ladies and gentlemen. It's like these Adepts are just attacking the planetary, which is the dumbest thing they can do, whereas virtually all the good custom bots, they always target down the workers or the units that are nearby. Instead, it's just an absolute slaughter committed by Ketroc. The Predators does have an observer out now, though, so the Banshees can potentially be shut down here. Apologies for that camera sweeping around. If I do another one of these matches, I will try another overlay. But, like, for those of you that don't really follow or host or cast StarCraft, which I assume is most of you, there's the Game Heart overlay, which I use. Then there's the WCS overlay, which lots of people use. Neither of which supports anything other than, like, 1v1. They might support 2v2 a little bit, but not the case. Zealots coming on in. They may kill off an SCV here and there, but it does not amount to much. We do have some Mutas out, but Ketroc has been adding in Vikings to support its Banshees, which is very important. The blue Zerg is now gearing up to go for an attack here. And let's see here, as we do have, yeah, Ketroc looking to kill the blue Zerg's hatchery. So maybe it wasn't going for an attack, just more so trying to save its hatch. But unsuccessfully, Ketroc is moving down to secure up a fourth base. We're finally getting some armories going, so there will be upgrades. And that's actually quite important for Ketroc, because Ketroc is very out-upgraded at the present. The blue Zerg is almost maxed out, so I'm wondering if that's going to be a condition that once it hits that, it may actually attack. Stalkers are running around for the Protoss, as it has lost its observer, so it's got no detection, as Ketroc is just bullying it. Brown Zerg does find that base, and then so it's actually going to be able to kill that off. Contaminate goes down on it prior to killing it. I guess it can't lift off if it's contaminated, I want to say. So I guess that's a way to secure a kill. Not something we ever see in really regular StarCraft 2, but when it comes to the in-game AI. They do like that, apparently. It looks like a Contaminate goes down on this planetary, but that doesn't stop the planetary from firing. A couple fungal growths do catch a few of the SCVs, but the tanks are still standing strong, and so the Blue Zerg loses lots of forces going for this attack here. Banshees are getting nice pickoffs while this is taking place. It's like the Brown Zerg went for a little bit of an attack during this as well, although some of its units are back at home, just trying to deal with the unending amount of Banshees that Ketroc has. The mutas definitely are going to help out with this. They actually do find this command center to the north. It's not being attacked or shut down, though. The Brown Protoss is kind of just being useless at this point. And let's see here. Banshee's still flying around for Ketroc. Overseer is getting picked off. And yeah, we've got an infestation pit on the way. So far Ketroc is handling these AIs quite well. Shutting down another base is nice. I mean, most of the bases on the AI's side of the map has been taken. Ketroc is trying to secure up another planetary fortress location. The Brown Zerg goes right on by this, though, seemingly attacking somewhere that is not that location. The planetary at this fort is being found. We do have a single Ling hitting this planetary, and Ketroc actually abandons the construction of that as a result. And then let's see here. We do have Stalkers going to be working away on some of these Vikings, as those are actually all going to go down, just trying to chase Overseers and shut down the detection, so then the Banshees have free reign. And it does kind of work, so now the Stalkers are getting bullied. They're just going to try and break this planetary, and the AI is not very good at taking down planetaries. The default AI really suffers at it, as it kills off a couple of the SCVs, but then really it is just feeding into this planetary fortress while Banshees shoot away on all the Stalkers. The Brown Zerg is hitting this planetary, which does have fewer SCVs to support it, and it's actually kind of just, well, it's actually very vulnerable to the mutas until these two turrets finish up, which fortunately for Ketroc, I think they are going to finish up. And getting that base up is a big requirement for the Terran, as Ketroc is high on supply, but it does need, well, more bases in order to sustain that. The Brown Zerg does come in, though, and it shuts that down. So far, the Brown Zerg seemingly getting the most damage done. Both Zergs are on a decent supply, though, so Ketroc may have to contend with that. The Protoss is just getting absolutely wrecked in this game, only at 49 supply. It's got 31 probes, though. It just keeps losing all its units. Banelings are coming on in for the Zerg. They are going to take out some of those SCVs. The planetary is taking quite a bit of damage, but some SCVs do remain to repair that. Vipers are flying around too. Banshees are harassing for Ketroc during this game, as this match is getting quite chaotic. How many kills does this Banshee have? 43 kills on that Banshee. Holy smokes. Yeah, the Protoss in-game Elite AI is not very good at dealing with speed Banshees microed by a bot, it would seem, as Ketroc does still continue to be a nuisance with this. There's that Banshee. That one's only got 4 kills. Ketroc now moves down towards this location, gonna attempt to expand here, or at least shut down the Brown Zerg's base. If we pull up the resources, I mean, the Blue Zerg's floating quite a bit. The Brown Zerg's really limited by gas. The Protoss is just insignificant. And let's see, as the Toss is actually going to try and hit another base, but not targeting the SCVs at all. It goes to show the strength of planetaries. If you ever do like one of those 1v7 AI challenges, yeah, that's how people win them, with planetary fortresses and that kind of thing. Now, the Zerg is successfully taking this base, though, and the amount of bases that these AI take will definitely be important, depending how long this game goes on. Ketroc, though, holding on to, well, it's on 4, trying to get up a 5th base. That's what it's struggling to secure, and it is quite important that it does that, as, I mean, these bases that it has presently will not last forever. The Banshee is getting some work. Who knows, maybe Ketroc can kill off the Predator's Protoss and be able to just take that bases, although we do have the 5th base being shut down again. The Blue Zerg has actually got Baneling speed for its Banes now, so if it does roll into the planetary, that could be very problematic. Brown Protoss trying to break this PF unsuccessfully again. If we pull up the resources lost, it's probably a ridiculous efficiency for Ketroc bot. Yes, 9,400 lost, about getting 4 or 5, just almost 5 times the efficiency of the in-game AI. And Yeah. So that's looking quite good here. We do have the blue Zerg being maxed out, so it could potentially take a fight. However, it will struggle against 25 Vikings, 18 Banshees. There is Infestors. They do actually catch some of these Banshees, but now the Banshees are just shooting the Banelings. The Zerg bot throws out Locust in the face of just air units. The Banelings are also just hanging out. The Mutas are trying to do what they can. However, the Viking micro from Ketroc is quite problematic, as there is, well, how many mutas? 16 mutas, which is not a small amount. The Banelings actually do roll into the planetary, so it may just die. Like, 3 SCVs are repairing it, though. The Roaches are running away scared from the Banshees, and so that PF barely survives. That's actually a massive win for Ketroc, which then immediately sends those SCVs over to this base upon this base needing more workers, which is cool economic management, although it does run them through a perilous position. And yes, let's see here, as we do have more fungal growths going down. The army, though, has, well, it's fallen for all sides, really. The brown Zerg has yet to secure up its 4th base. The blue Zerg is also only on 3 bases, so they will, in theory, mine out quicker than Ketroc, but keeping Ketroc on 4 bases is important for the AI. Yes, mutas are coming on in here, as they do keep trying to chase these Banshees down, but the micro from Ketroc is very, very good, as those units, if they're not shooting, they're pretty much retreating. Mutas try to pick off a siege tank. SCVs will repair that, though, at the cost of pretty much all the mutas. Random Infestor runs in, gets shot by a planetary fortress. We've got a Banshee still harassing the Protoss. Oh, the poor Protoss in this game. You should have just built some Phoenix, and then it would have been different. Now, Ketroc does still have this Banshee flying around. 3/3 upgrades have been reached for the Terran's air as well. It's coming now to try and shut down the brown Zerg's base once more. The blue Zerg has got a massive amount of resources compared to its counterparts. And yes, let's see here. Banshee's still causing trouble. It really is a battle over this base down here. However, Ketroc does seem to have secured up this location to the north there, as it now comes down to shut down this location, and does so successfully. The blue Zerg does have a formidable army still, with 30 Banelings to its army. I mean, they're not going to help with the air armada, but they can potentially roll into a planetary. The problem is, though, these Vikings just microing against the mutas are quite good, as they're just constantly retreating. Then the rest of the AI army doesn't really know what to do. They are going to crash in here. There is a planetary. They're not quite going for it, though. The Swarm host are running all over the place still. Holy cow, clicking on the Zerg vision, there's just chaos happening all over the map. The Banelings are being quite useless in this situation, though, as this Banshee, how many kills is this up to? 66 kills on this Banshee, still just destroying the Predator's AI. We have got, let's see. Yeah, another attack on the front. These mutas will actually kill off these turrets, so the tanks could be vulnerable. This will cost Ketroc's bot some resources, but the concern there is that Ketroc does actually have a bit of a bank right now, and securing up the 5th base has been huge. These Banelings are unfortunately being useless. As I say that, though, the blue Zerg does go for an attack at this base. Mutas killing the turrets is huge. Banelings are rolling in. This is actually quite a close game, as the blue Zerg did just break Ketroc's 5th base, and that is a base Ketroc probably needed. As I mean, the blue Zerg has got a massive bank still. The black Protoss is having a bit of a tough time here, as there is still just one Banshee giving it so much grief. This Banshee's probably eaten like a couple of shots, but then it's still just doing fine. Scan goes down on the Observer, so Ketroc can come in and strike with the Banshees uncontested. The blue Zerg did spend a lot of its supply in order to try and break this location. The brown Zerg is trying to expand here once again, and oh, it's a race. Who's going to take it first? Ketroc tries and gets shut down. It really is a battle. Then the brown Zerg does take this. Ketroc We'll see if it rolls over there to go shut that down, and it actually is going to do that pretty much right away. So there is determination for Ketroc to take this base. The air fleet may just be enough for Ketroc in order to win this game, though. If it never actually gets brought down, we do have Banshee still flying around. There is Spore Crawlers for the Brown Zerg, or a Spore Crawler, but that gets shut down. Muta's coming in to fight the Banshees. There is detection and actually a good fungal, so quite a few of these Banshees do get caught. There's simply so many Terran units here, though. And, okay, looks like the Black Protoss does lose one of its bases. It's still barely mining, so not really a factor in this game. Mutas are still flying around for the Brown Zerg, trying to keep itself alive, or the Brown Zerg falling in supply. It's really all on the Blue Zerg in order to win this game. It will shut down another base of Ketroc, however. Ketroc is floating a CC down here, so it will be able to grab this location. The Mutas, Ravens, or pardon me, the Banshees, Ravens, and Vikings are now really pushing on in. There's not that many resources left for the Brown Zerg, so having quite a difficult time. The Blue Zerg is going to try and break another location of Ketroc, however. This base is practically mined out, so Ketroc can kind of afford to lose this. If we pull up the resources, though, Ketroc is running out of money, so it really does need this base. And I think it has just secured it in time. The Zerg is actually coming in with these mutts and actually just picking off the turrets. Now this base is exposed, so Ketroc could lose another important location on this map. We've got this location down here. That's going to be shut down as well. This game is closer than you'd think. Meanwhile, the poor Protoss is having a hard time. Its ally is even trying to help it out. Like, here, I'll lend you my Overseer. But it is not enough. Meanwhile, Ketroc has killed off the Brown Zerg during this. There really isn't many resources left on the map at all on the AI's side. We are seeing long-distance mining go down by the Blue Zerg. That's probably worth it, seeing as how it's not like the Protoss is really doing all that much. It's all on the Blue Zerg here. So the Blue Zerg goes down. Ketroc hasn't turned this base into a planetary, which could really, really hurt it. And yeah, we'll see if this base actually goes down. Fungals are getting tossed out by the in-game AI. Multiple fungals going down. Vipers aren't exactly doing much. The Infestors have used all their spells. We'll see. If the CC dies, this may have been worth it for the Brown Zerg. If it lives, probably not. And so an Ultra is attacking the CC. It does retreat, though. It's burning down. Mules are getting dropped. They may even repair. Fungal growth catching a lot of these Vikings. The building is burning. Pardon my English. And Ketroc needs to repair it. It does go to repair that location. That actually was very, very clutch for the custom AI. And yes, Ketroc keeping this base alive may be the lifeline that it needed. The Blue Zerg really is out of gas too, so Ketroc may actually have won here. With the Blue Zerg being out of gas, there's nothing that it can really build. Archons are hitting this planetary. I mean, good try. It's actually not being repaired, but they probably will still die hitting this. Ketroc's still flying around, cleaning this out. And with taking this base, it's actually paused repairing it. It must have ran out of money. With actually it taking this base and the Blue Zerg being out of gas, I think it may have won this game. The Blue Zerg has taken another base that there is gas available at. It could, in theory, long-distance mine from these friendly assimilators, or no, that's just a co-op thing, pardon me, not a team game thing. I don't... No, you actually can, yeah, because, like, Clem and MaxPax would, build, or who was it? Clem and Trigger would build the teammates' refineries. The one Predator's AI is going to GG, saying, I've had enough. I've lost probably a gazillion probes. Unfortunately, that overlay does not work in this game. But yes, the Blue Zerg out of gas. This base seems to have been shut down. All it can build at this point is queens, but I'm not sure the in-game StarCraft 2 AI is going to build mass queens. It wouldn't be terrible against all these air units. Ketroc, though, is going to be able to max out again, potentially with taking this base. It's now finding this space up here, so shutting that down is quite important. And then this Banshee still causing problems. There is no Overseer to shut this down, but it's actually not Cloak, so this hero Banshee may actually die. 114 kills on this Banshee. This Banshee may have won Ketroc this game, but I do think Ketroc has probably won this game. shutting down the opponent's income just very effectively, and then just barely being able to secure up its own. This game was actually very close, probably the more entertaining one of these versus 3 AI matches we've seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to see more of these matches, go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and then leave a comment down below if you want to see more of them. If you want to support these wacky casts, consider becoming a YouTube member. Our goal is to hit 10 members on the channel. We do have quite a few spores, but they may kill a few Banshees, but it's not going to be enough. And yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already. If you want to get info on how to program your own bot, you can join AIarena.net. That has a wiki, which is all the info you want to get started. I recommend the Versus AI tutorials. That's what I looked at for mine to start out. And yeah, very, very good game. Ketroc does successfully max out again. Now actually taking the Predator's base. Taking this one too. Doesn't want to take these bases, they are kaput. Just goes to show that there's still money at these bases, how much of a hard time the Protoss AI had in this match. And yeah, just to be in the name of transparency, I believe Ketroc did say in chat that his bot did have a hard time running or winning some of these matches. Yeah, so he did actually have to run a few, I guess, or he maybe didn't win all of the ones that he ran. But yeah, very cool that it is a challenge. Like, this game was so darn close, actually, between these three. So it is cool. Maybe we'll have to keep bugging other bot authors to see if they can set this up. We have the Pac-Man getting dropped in mules by Ketroc. Very cool. That is going to be it, though. I guess it makes sense that there's no chat tags if this was just being run locally, and the tags are done through AI Arena, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably not. Okay, let's see here. What's left building-wise? 2 extractors and 2 spine crawlers. Spine crawlers do count as buildings, for those of you wondering. No extractors. GG.